What's happening, people?
We are back.
Blessed, black, and alive.
Yes, sir. Black to the Basics, a.k.a. The People's Podcast. I am your host and 1/3, Mr. J. Weeks, a.k.a. 52 the Balls. Here with my man.
B. Stokes, also known as Bishop, also known as Brother Knowledge.
Oh.
It depends on what you know me.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you already know, man. Your boy J. Irv, man. VA all day, 2 up, 2 down. Y'all know how I get down.
Let's get it.
Get it.
Another week, fellas.
Another week.
How y'all feeling, man?
I'm blessed.
Good.
Glad to be alive.
Yeah, let me get some of this hand sanitizer.
Gotta have it.
You know what's going on.
Important.
Right.
Man, we had a great week last week, man. A lot going on. I got to check out the Goody Mob on Sun. How you feel about that, man?
Man, I think they told a lot of the truth.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. Being from Atlanta, being a fan, to hear the unsung.
Right.
You know, that's a good thing. But following them, you would have known if you was a real good fan. I just hate how they tried to play the CeeLo situation.
Mm-hmm.
That bothered me a little bit. Still, I'm a CeeLo fan.
Mm-hmm.
It was never no love lost.
Well, and that's a good. I think at one part he said, you know, they made it bigger than what it was. He said, I mean, I knew it wasn't no issues, you know. Mm-hmm. So that was good to see that, even though the media wanted to make it seem like there was this big beef. He was like, nah, it was good. I knew what I wanted to do. They knew what they wanted to do.
He came, he delivered, man.
Yeah. So definitely, no, man. Did you get to take out?
I have not checked it out.
No, I was going to ask you more important. Did you get to see The Last Dance, Mike? You know.
No, I did not. I
hate it, man.
No.
Oh man, hate.
It's not about me being a hater, though. Like I did not. Matter of fact, the reason why we were watching Trolls, the new one, with my brother.
All we gotta do is listen. Kobe is in the documentary.
I know.
Okay.
I saw the clip.
Okay.
I saw the clip.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I saw the clip. Yeah. But you know, I'm not. Listen, I don't have any hate towards Mike. You feel me? But you know, if it was a Kobe documentary, yes, I've been watching. You know
that's coming.
Right up there. I know it's coming. I hope so.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna check it out because I'm a sports fan first. But I just have not. If I have to choose Michael Jordan or watching Trolls and spending time with my daughter,
of course.
I'm gonna choose the daughter now. If it's Kobe. Yeah, Troll, you gotta sit back.
Delay the Troll.
Delay the Troll, but no, I'm gonna definitely check it out. So.
Man, Sunday was crazy for me because one, I tried to watch The Unsung.
Okay.
And I also stayed up to try to watch The Last Dance, which was 2 hours, and then I also tried. Yeah, and then I also tried to watch Naked and Afraid too. So like, I ain't gonna say
that's a great show, by the way.
What? They had a 2-hour premiere on there.
You never watched it?
It's amazing.
Let me tell you something. It's not. Listen. My black people, that is not for us to try.
Okay.
But it's a great show.
It's a great, like to watch other people do some other stuff. Yeah,
it's very entertaining.
Yeah, so it was a long night for me, man. But you know, also this week we got to see the versus battle that I know last week you was tight about that.
I was a little upset.
He was tight.
Man, it was. I was looking at that. Right, we watched it. I'm like, dog, they had so many hits, so many songs. Like, I do feel like Teddy was at a disadvantage because you could tell as a performer he wanted something. Like he was sitting down, like he was so confined. Like I wanted. But and on the flip side, Babyface is just unbothered with everything. Like he would play a banger, Babyface be like, I like that.
I need to know what he take.
That was good. Right. That was good. I'm like, this dude did a whole.
But it's Babyface though. That's all. Like I said, it's almost like what I got in the arsenal. Like it's not touching this.
But out of all that, this is what I took away from it on a whole nother scale. I'm looking at the video, right? Watching it on YouTube and listen to it, and I was like, people had real life issues, dog. Like they were really going through things when they were singing these songs. You know, they were really like going through some things. Yeah. They were, when New Edition and Bobby Brown like Bobby Brown really had some issues. It was really some problems. So it just made me see, like, dog, when people were doing jump from back in the day, it was real. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they were really trying to get, like, hey, I love you. Like, I'm trying to get with you.
A lot of real issue comes out of, like, issues, like, for instance, like, I'm not saying Usher's not a good artist, but when he dropped that Confessions joint, dog, listen. I think that whole song,
game changer.
Him and Neo dropped their albums the same year.
Yeah.
Right? And Neo had a phenomenal album, by the way. But that Confession joint,
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't be driving down the street and you look at somebody else's car and it's a dude. He over there wiping his face, shaking his head, like you know, it was real music right there. Though.
Yeah, it was real issues, and it made me see like, dog. Now everything seems so fabricated. Like we create issues, like people. You know, on social media, yo, when I see Irv, it's gonna be a problem. Let him know.
Little disclaimer: don't ever do that.
Man.
So the people in Radio Land, they hold up their phone, talk about, yo, when I see Stokes, it's gonna be a problem.
You gotta have the fake pistol too.
Right? They making this whole joint like y'all don't stay 10 minutes away from each other. Dog. So it made me see like, dog, people were legit going through things, but it came from a real place.
Yeah, pure,
like,
man.
It was legit. When people was beefing, it was real beef. Mm-hmm. When it was East-West, people was getting hurt, people was dying. It was real issues.
Right.
So I say that to say, let's not get caught up in trying to make this fake wave of trying to be phony and trying to get this clout, man. This clout chaser got to go.
Yeah. God, stop.
What Jesus said, it ain't going to get you on, it's going to get you hurt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's facts, man. It's definitely that, but it just made me see like, dang, we really out here with these fake issues, seeing people get these fake beefs, man.
Like the Migos now do anything for clout.
Hey,
that's just the name of the game.
For clout.
Hey, that's the name of the game these days, man.
Speaking of Migos, have y'all saw the Drumline Challenge joint?
Oh yeah,
with DC?
With
Fly?
Yeah, with DC on Fly and
Quavo.
Then they had this Trey Snub or Trey
Nubs.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Nubs went crazy.
I wasn't expecting, like, I saw the video and I was not expecting that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I thought he was trying.
Nothing he can't do.
Yeah, I'm saying, I thought he was trying to be funny when he got that dog.
Yeah,
like,
nice,
shout out to Nubs.
They should have put them in Drumline.
So I'm saying, so
I wasn't expecting DC on Fly to be up there like dog.
So look at all this talent we are seeing in this quarantine times, man.
Yeah.
So instead of talking about all the bad things, people dying, all this junk, like look at all the great things that's coming from it.
Yeah.
These verses been hit. And you know, I know it's Sunday right now. When this come out, it's gonna be Thursday. But I'm super hyped for this John P. Key and Hezekiah Walker. I'm just saying, I know people may not be a fan of the gospel joint with the battles, but I feel like it's good for the art. Yeah. So yeah, I'm ready, man. I'm trying to get my outfit straight tonight, so it's gonna be lit.
Pink, the Simon Pink.
He definitely got to shoot the matching gators. Lady Gators on.
That's so funny, man.
I'm definitely, it's gonna be a dope battle, but I just feel like John P. Key it's gonna be a rap, man.
Yeah,
it's gonna be old school. This dude got hits from the '80s, man.
Like, I can't call on it right now.
All I'm saying is it's gonna be good for music. It's definitely gonna be good for gospel.
For that genre,
a lot of people now, only know like the Kurt Franklins of the world, and Ty Tribbett. So coming back to John P. Key, somebody that been doing for 30, 40 years.
Grandmama know.
Definitely know, man. So it's a lot of great things. So shout out to all the great things.
Yes.
Y'all already know we can't start any show without first educating the people. And for that, we got to listen to my man Knowledge. My man, brother Knowledge for the Knowledge Report.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's the science, baby?
Man, so
what you got today, man?
Today we're going to talk about an institution that we like to call HBCU.
HBCU.
For those that are not connected to the culture, we like to call it historically black colleges and universities. Okay, so for those that may not know, we're going to give you a little bit of insight about who founded HBCUs. We're going to give you an insight when they were founded. Then we're just going to talk about some notable people as well that came from HBCU.
Go ahead and break it down for me.
Let's go and get into it, man. So, for those that out there, historically black colleges and universities were invented or created or founded in 1837. Okay? This was 26 years before the end of slavery.
Oh, crazy.
Yes. They were founded by Richard Humphrey, a Quaker philanthropist. Quaker.
That's crazy.
Now, he founded the Institute for Colored Youth to train free blacks to become teachers. Now, of course, we know the importance of education.
Absolutely.
Especially our people.
Yeah.
Back in that time, not knowing how to read, not knowing how to write, this was a definitely important institution created by him.
Mm-hmm.
So, the institution that he created is now known as Cheney University of Pennsylvania.
Shout out to Cheney.
Yes. So they are considered the first HBCU. Now, when we look at that, now there are 101 HBCUs in the United States. So,
I know what that means.
Yeah, I didn't realize what that means either.
Yep. So they are both public and private. So of course, if you have your preference, some are connected to religious institutions.
Mm-hmm.
Some are just open public state institutions.
Okay.
So if you have a preference, you can choose either or. Now, when we look at it, you have in the 1930s, it was 121. So the decline has happened due to some, schools being bought out, funding, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is why HBCUs are very important, because we have to support us and support our own. If you checked out the Black Wall Street episode, you'll know what's going on. Now, so we're going to do some notable HBCU alums. When we talk about celebrities, we have Spike Lee. We have P. Diddy.
Take that.
We have Felicia Rashad.
Okay.
Nikki Giovanni.
Yep.
So we have certain people that are doing things. Now we're going to talk about the people that are doing things right now for the culture, that are black leaders that are graduated from HBCUs. So we have Mr. Deshaun Amira. He graduated from Hampton University. He has his own tech company that is $13 million in funding. So he's doing his own thing, starting from grassroots. We have Mr. Sean Wilkinson. So he's the CSO at Storage Labs. So he works to bring cloud storage and bring that tech to what's going on with Apple and Google and all of that.
Okay.
He's the CSO for them. And another one we'll tap into Miss Rosalind Brewer. So you know that coffee with the lady on it, the mermaid kind of face on it? Starbucks? Yeah. She was the chief operating officer of them. And she still is as well. So when you go in there, you are led by a black woman and be supporting Starbucks. So those are a few people, man, that are now in our culture that are doing things around what's pertinent to today that are graduates of HBCUs.
That's dope, man.
So, support us. Say if I'm a graduate of HBCU, definitely been there.
Go and shout out your HBCU, man.
The Savannah State University, you see it. We do our thing.
Shout it out. Shout it out.
You graduated, if you attended, you graduated. You know how that go at our school. But we do our thing, man. So everybody, man, support your HBCU. There's a lot of them in your state. I'm sure you can find one. Try to support it as well as you can. And also, if you are an alum, give back.
Yeah.
Just give back. Whether you time, whether it's merch, whatever.
Just show your face, man. It goes a long way.
Yeah, I'm definitely a product of HBCU. You already know. North Carolina Central University. Throw up that bullshit.
I don't think it's been a week that has gone by that we haven't seen no
Hey, they gonna know. They gonna know. But what a fun fact that was kind of shocking to me. So I also went to grad school at SCAD. So Savannah College of Art and Design in Savannah, Georgia, which is predominantly white. So it's a PWI. So when I got there and I was saying HBCU, they looked at me like they had seen I don't even know.
Yeah, what is this?
There's one up the street.
I was so confused. I'm like, but there's one right like 15 miles away from here. Like I was so, I thought I was being punked. Like y'all really don't know what HBCU is.
You got a rude awakening.
Right. So just to shout out that, the HBCUs and people don't understand, like that was for us. They wasn't gonna give us no education, so we created our own.
Yes.
So shout out to the HBCUs.
That's like
everything else, man.
And y'all already know that we keep our ear to the street. And for that, we got to lean on my man Jay Earl to give us that word on the street.
Yeah, man.
3, 2.
I'm going to try to get some positivity today.
What you got, man?
So I know people are tired of hearing about COVID and the negative. So I want to bring some light out of Philadelphia, PA. Dr. Allah Stanford and other African-American doctors, mostly women, from Pennsylvania have launched the Black Doctors COVID Consortium to provide free mobile coronavirus testing to undeserved communities in hopes to prevent further spread.
Oh, you said free?
Yes. Let me go back. To provide free mobile coronavirus testing to underserved communities in hopes to prevent further spread of the virus, especially among Black people. So they got a group together up there, man, and they're providing free testing. So I think that's right now really a good thing. I know with certain states and stuff opening back up, people are rushing out. to try to get back to some sort of life. But black people specifically, we are at a higher risk. So we just gotta be patient, and it's good to see that people are going into underprivileged areas and making sure that those people are good because
who probably wouldn't get the testing.
Yeah, that wouldn't get the testing and or think like, hey, I can't afford to go get tested and find out what I got. I think that's a very big thing in that community, man. So shout out to those young women, that are out there doing it. You know what I'm saying? So they keep our community safe, man. So it's a lot of us out there doing those things, man. But yeah, just to see that every day, just like. Yeah. It just let you know, man, people are still human beings out here.
And the part to that, though, too, Herb, just think about it. It's somebody that look like you coming to do a test.
Absolutely.
You're not going to somebody that don't look like
Absolutely.
you. So your guard is down.
Your guard is down.
Because,
for us, man, it's hard for us to go and to make that just take anything when it comes to our health.
You got to go on your deathbed.
Yeah. And even still, some people, go in there and get that rope test. And I'm like,
get that ginger ale.
Ginger ale
cures it all.
Ginger ale does not cure
the onion under your sock.
That is a black person's prescription.
Bro, listen, what's wrong with you? I'll go get that ginger ale.
That's it.
Yeah, ginger ale will cure it all.
It's good to see, like I said, people are just out giving back and making sure our people are taken care of.
Big facts.
I mean, and I like the fact that it's just something positive, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like we've been talking about it for 4-5 weeks, and we don't want to keep spending time talking about all the negative things. So being able to see somebody getting free testing, that's dope.
So if you're in the Philadelphia area, man, look them up and go get yourself tested. And most of all, if you don't have to go nowhere, stay home.
Yeah,
stay home.
Yeah, shout out to that.
That's the theme of the last couple of months. Stay home.
So, I mean, how do you feel about, we talked about it, we joked about it early in the game about, the barbershops and everything being closed. And now Kemp said, hey, we want to go ahead and open these essential business. Now, there's been a lot of chatter, from a lot of sides, like, well, it seems like a lot of those businesses are black-owned businesses or things that black people normally target towards, So, what's your thoughts on that, man?
Man, I'm totally against it, right?
Right.
It's ridiculous that someone who didn't think that this pandemic was even necessary or was even considered a pandemic wants to now open up these establishments, but not he's looking at the dollar,
right,
and you have to take that away, dude.
Yeah.
Like these are people, these are lives that are affected. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you have to say, okay, I'm going to keep you accountable, auntie. You can't go get your nails done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to keep you accountable. Your sister, your cousin, whoever. Y'all can't go get your nails done. And when y'all ready to go get them done, I'll pay for them later.
Yeah.
Do something like that to keep people in the house, man. It's important.
But here's the thing that, man, so like the crazy thing, my barber reached out and this is before this announcement, like he keeps in contact. Shout out to Jackson's Barbershop out there in Stockbridge, man.
Okay.
They do some good work over there, man. But I texted them yesterday, the day before yesterday, hey man, I know the government and everything saying, the governor saying everything open up. I said, man, y'all please be safe and just take necessary precautions. He said, dog, we're not opening for another 2-3 weeks. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's great to hear because, I mean, you know me, I try to at least, because I don't wear the hats. I try to keep the hair cut, man, but some stuff is just not worth it, man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You gonna go try to line your joint up there?
Man, bro, listen. No. My wife asked me all the time, she said, hey, man, I can tie you up. And I'm
I'm gonna get you right. No, she might give you that season.
No, get you right. She may think about something I might have did. Like I forgot to put that cup in the sink and just zig my joint. No, sir, I'm working. Nah. So I already say to man, just make sure if things are open, take the necessary precautions. Just stay home.
Yeah.
Because you go get a haircut. Where you going?
Yeah.
Like this. You understand what I'm saying? You go get your nails and hair done. Where are you going? There's nowhere to go right now. Everything's closed. So sit in the house. Just take precautions.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked. I was like, oh, okay, well, we open it back up. I think I seen, was it Killer Mike's? His barbershop, he didn't open it back. I think Change Joe, he opened up his restaurant.
No, he did.
Oh, he switched.
I was about to say that. So I just read some other day where he said he was actually going to open his restaurants back again, which for dining, you can go in there actually and eat.
Actually eating. Okay.
Actually eating inside. I'm out of the loop. I don't know. I didn't know what his restaurant chain is. Even though
it's James? 2 James?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they opening it back up?
Yeah. That's
initially they said they weren't, but I think they're now.
That's the first part. I only caught that part.
Yeah.
But Escobar.
Yeah.
So shout out to Chains. They got the Escobar situation.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, but either way, man, you got to still take precautions. A lot of people are essential, so they still have to be out there, and just still over anything. We don't know what's happening, what's going to happen, how things. Protect your family. Make sure you're staying safe.
Mm-hmm.
Change your clothes, wash your hands when you get in the house. Just take
all the things that you should have been doing before this. That's people realize, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you should have been washing your hands and all that.
People do now
just on a high level now.
You know what I mean?
You just on front street.
Hand sanitizer gone, but soap and body wash is still levels of stock. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
And on sale.
Right, all right. 2 for 1. What are we doing?
So make sure you wash your hands.
Wash more than that, please.
Let's get it.
Shout out to everybody out there washing their hands. We stupid. But man, today is we gonna shift a little bit with this one, man. You kind of touched on, talk about college. So today we want to talk about higher learning. That's what we're talking about. We're gonna talk about all that.
No.
You mentioned that, so the movie, my favorite part of the movie is when my man hit him with what is high? What is higher? What is learn?
Yeah.
What is learning?
Classic.
What is higher learning?
Classic movie.
If you don't know what we're talking about, please check it out.
Check out the movie.
Check out the movie.
95. But man, today we want to talk about, higher learning and what our interpretation of higher learning is. So we're all different people, come from different backgrounds, different walks of life. So ideally, I would expect that our views are going to be different. So we just want to kind of tap into that. So, we'll go ahead and start with my man, Brother Knowledge over here, man. Your initial thoughts on meaning or how you hear how you're learning, what comes to your mind?
Elevation, man. Elevation, man.
That's simple.
When you think about it, right? When you are moving higher, you're going up.
Absolutely.
So whether you are going up in education, going up spiritually, going up mentally, you're getting higher.
Elevated.
You're getting elevated.
Okay.
That's what I think about.
That's what we call it, Brother Knowledge. Can't drop the gems, man.
Spitting gems, man.
Mine is just so simple. Like, y'all may make fun of me, but mine is the same thing. I think about the movie Higher Learning. And just how that movie dealt with real life scenarios. You taking people in college, their freshman year, all from different walks of life, put in a university where they now have to intermingle with everyone. And you got to survive that.
Yeah.
How do you take people that have completely different backgrounds, completely different struggles, and put them together? And how do we survive that? So that's my initial thoughts, and how impactful that movie was. And that was, what, 94, 95?
It was
like 95?
Yeah, and the crazy thing, that stuff is actually happening today.
Right.
It's before its time.
Yeah. So what about you, Herb?
For me, I think higher learning is, being able to go out and seek the knowledge, whatever that knowledge is, to better improve yourself. So, like, if it's something that you don't know, you go out and you seek the knowledge to, one, gain that information, and two, what are you going to use with it to help better improve yourself or, to improve your life. So that's what comes to my, not, just the movie as well, but when you hear higher learning, is what can I obtain to learn to make myself grow? That's how I look at higher learning, you know what I mean?
Dope. And Stokes, you kind of hit on it earlier when you talked about college. So we all attended college. So I just want to kind of share some of our stories, our journey to college, and kind of how that happened. So I'm going to start with you, Jared. Like, how did college happen for you?
Man, college for me, I wasn't really, I wasn't really like wanting to go to college. Like I was playing ball.
Okay.
I'm like, I want to go somewhere just so I can hoop. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. And just try to make it out. You know what I mean? So for me, I didn't take the traditional route. I kind of sat out a year before when I first graduated.
Okay.
And then I went to I shot Tidewater Community College. I went there.
Tidewater early.
And played a year of ball after that. Played a year of ball there on the junior college level.
Okay. JUCO.
Yeah. So that was a great experience for me, man. I have some great friends, some great teammates from that experience, man. And right after that, I really just jumped into the workforce, you know what I'm saying, at that situation. So I had the opportunity to go somewhere else, but money at the time, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go and jump right into the work field, man. So
what worked best for you?
Yeah, man, at the time, the situation, man. So that was not traditional path. So a lot of people don't really talk about going to like a community college. Just like, oh, I went X, Y, Z. So definitely,
just trying to go.
Yeah.
What about you, Stokes?
Man, shout out once again to the Savannah State University.
That's you, baby.
Out of high school, man, I played ball, so it was one of them things where ball was my focus more than school, right?
Yeah.
But still had other schools looking at me, checking.
What sport did you play? You
played baseball, man.
Okay.
So playing baseball.
Now you don't hear a lot of black people. You don't hear black people talk about baseball.
Yeah, man.
Unless they Dominican.
Right. They almost there.
Right.
But when you look at it, man, playing baseball, man, in Atlanta is a big thing amongst African Americans. So and so much talent, but we just don't have enough exposure.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate enough to come up in high school and be on a shout out to Reed High. We had a team that was full of talent. We had a lot of exposure. So different colleges would come, see us practice, see us play. We had a lot of different tournaments that we'll be able to, go to. We traveled to Alabama, play high schools in Alabama, do different things.
Wow.
We had a lot of exposure. But when you look at it, man, it was like, okay, what are you focused on? Do you want to go to school? What you want to play ball? You want to do that?
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was pretty much ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Had some schools that were checking me out, different schools around Georgia, a few in South Carolina, different things. A few in Florida as well. I was like, okay, well, I want to go somewhere that's not too far, but far enough. So I was like, man, went on a visit. Exactly, went on a visit, man. Shout out to Coach Carter Hardy. He's still there at Savannah holding it down. But he gave me a shot, gave me a scholarship, allowed me to be able to come down there. Man, hit the campus. Mind you, I was 17 when I went to college.
Wow.
So it was an eye opener for me. So that's when life started to happen, right? Started to build friendship, started clicking, you started to move, started to figure things out. Man, when I tell you, my time in Savannah was one where I learned myself,
right?
but I also learned so much things about life. Right. And when I say that, it was a pickup of I learned how to barter, learn how to barter my time, learn how to do different things, man, and also just getting exposed to so much, traveling, having to do time management. Having to do a lot of that type of stuff. Like, okay, you can't play ball and not do your schoolwork.
No, you can't.
It don't add up.
Yeah.
You can't, you can't hang with the ladies and try to get your schoolwork.
It don't go happen.
But you have to have a balance, man. So that's why I learned balance and learn to find peace through time management and time to self as well. So shout out to SSU, man, for teaching me and growing this.
Savannah State.
Yes, sir.
So how, me growing up and most of us, we always usually geared towards basketball or football. How did baseball come about for you? Like, was it something that a coach you seen on TV? Like, what was the inspiration for you to kind of gear towards baseball?
All I remember, man, having a ball in my hand and a bat in my hand since I was little.
Wow.
I played other sports as well, football, basketball. Of course, I'm 5'6" people, so basketball didn't last too long.
Look, you can't really say that because we about the same height. True. I can dunk a basketball.
See, basketball was not my strong point at 5'6". Let me put it like that.
Don't diss the people 5'6" and nothing because we do some great things.
Get down.
We do some great things out there.
But it was, my uncles played baseball. Okay. My grandfather played ball in Alabama, doing different type of things. And so my dad, my dad was just an athlete. So it was kind of one of the things like, okay, what are you good at? So my dad honed in on baseball. A lot of longevity, a lot of exposure to different cultures as well.
And guaranteed money.
And guaranteed bread. And then, too, you got to look at it, right? You're being able to hang with certain people that you'll never be able to hang with. Different cultures. So people from whose dads are Fortune 500 presidents to kids that are, adopted. You never know who you're dealing with. So you learn about different cultures. Yeah. And that's where, baseball, I think my dad wanted me to see that. But also being in Atlanta, having Hank Aaron, having David Justice, having those people that were people to see Fred McGriff. Growing up, seeing those black people, you want to be like them. Yeah. Shout out to my Uncle Tony Gwynn. It's my grandfather's best friends. He passed away, but one of the best baseball players to touch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
That's dope, man.
Dope, man. Yeah, for me, mine was really kind of strange because I always knew that college, I was going to go to college. Not saying that I wanted to, but my mother instituted in my head, like, college, like, it's a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
So from a little one, I already knew that college was definitely going to be the way for me. But I you know, like I said last time, I had moved to North Carolina for my last 2 years of high school. So I was trying to get back to DC, VA. So I'm applying to Howard, Virginia Union, Virginia State, anything that's closer to home. And I had every intention to actually go to either Virginia Union or Virginia State. And they're like, no, you need to look at other colleges. I applied to a couple schools in Carolina. But I never forget getting a letter from North Carolina Central. And I'm like, North Carolina Central? I ain't never applied to North Central. Wow. You know, I had applied to A&T at the time because the person I was dating was going to A&T. So I'm like, cool, I'm going to go to A&T then if I have to go to here. So I get a letter in the mail. I'm like, Central? I never applied to Central. So I go and I'm like, all right, let me go see what this is about. Long story short, lo and behold, I ended up going to Central, and then mom says, "Oh yeah, I applied for you." I'm like,
I was just about to say that, dog. I was like, what's the who
my mother applied
the
for
ghost.
me. Right. I had no intentions of going to North Carolina Central because when I lived in North Carolina, I stayed in Chapel Hill. Durham was considered like that was the bad place. Like, don't go to Durham or whatever.
Compared to Chapel Hill,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, my mother definitely initially was like, nah, we ain't moving to Durham. We're going to be Chapel Hill or whatever. But, so that was how my path to college started from there. And as you see, I love my HBCU. Anytime I can shout it out, I do. But that was kind of my path to college. But I think my mom was the bigger influence because, like I said, she just made me and my sisters understand that it's like you got to do that.
Yeah.
So even if I didn't want to do college, I knew I owed that back to my mother. This is my appreciation for you. Thank you. And, my sisters also graduated from North Carolina Central University.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So it's in your blood.
And then my sister's husband also North Carolina Central. So it's like I said,
a house full of Eagles.
and so when you see that, man, to see that people are educated, they went to college, sometimes we don't see that enough, I would say. But for you, like, was college, I know I mentioned, like, for me, my mom, it was non-negotiable. Was college something that your parents pushed towards you or even brought up to you?
So here's the thing. So my parents did push that, and shout out to my pop, Lawrence Irvin, man. Like he gave me some great advice. So my father ran track for East Carolina University, and then he transferred from East Carolina to Florida A&M where he met my mother, and then everybody in my family, fam and all that. I got some Bethune-Cookmans and stuff in there sprinkled in, right? So my dad said something to me a long time ago, right? He was like, son, a lot of parents push their kids to go to college. Yeah. If you don't want to go to college, then don't go. Right. And when he said that, I was like, what? He said, let me tell you something. If you came in here and said, hey, Dad, I want to be a clown and join the Barnum and Bailey Circus. You know my father, right? He said, well, son, go ahead and go be the best clown you can be. Yeah, he said, because what happens is, and I saw it in school, you had kids that were forced to go to college. Yeah. Those are the ones that are partying. They go to school for the wrong reasons. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, he was just like, whatever you decide to do, do it to be the best at it. So I always knew I wanted to go to school because I was always thinking of ways to try to help better not my life, but my family, my siblings. Right. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that knows me, like my family is, that's all. If I could sit back and just do stuff and provide for my family, you good. My life is great. Right. So that was my mindset of trying to go into school to either hopefully play professional ball if I made it, or create an opportunity where I can make something where my family would be good. So. Shout out to my dad for giving my advice.
Shout out to Bob.
So but he said it a little differently. But
we know.
Yeah, same concept, man. So that was some of the best advice I got.
A lot of expertise in there,
right. So I didn't have the pressure, like if I didn't go to college, that my parents would be disappointed. Right. But it was good. So a little different.
What about you, Stokes?
For me, man, school was kind of one of the things you must have, right? Non-negotiables. Got to make good grades if you want to play ball. It was kind of one of the things that you have to do. Right. Now, for me, it was there are some successful college graduates within my family, and so to see that you thought that the play was only to go to college, you didn't understand and know that there was no other way outside of it. But as I began to grow, I started to know that there's other successful ways.
Right.
But if that's the thing that's in front of you, you're only going to look to that.
Right.
So when we look at going to school, it was like, hey, you got to go to school. Whatever you do, you're going to get up out of here and go to school. So if you don't want to play ball, or you don't play ball, you still what? Gonna get up and go to school. You go up to Georgia Perimeter, you can go to school in California, but you go to school. Go to school. So that was one of the things, man, that I appreciate my parents keeping me accountable, but also keeping me just focused. Throughout everything.
That's dope, man. Yeah, like I said earlier, man, my mom made me see the significance of going to school, but I think more importantly, my mother wasn't someone who pushed me towards sports. It was just funny because nobody gonna believe me. I was very shy, and I'm very shy to this day when it comes to people. Yes,
I don't believe that one.
But here's why.
I don't believe that.
Here's why. Acting allowed me to be a different person,
like social media.
Right, it allowed me to be a different person. Okay. So I use acting to be my way to get away from being insecure or not being able to say things or different things. So a lot of times people see that. Most times it's just a character of who I am because I'm more of a reserved person, shy and everything. So people are like, nah,
that's what I said.
Not to do the act.
Not that.
But acting was that. And one of the things my mother stressed for me is like, you can do sports any day. Everybody you know plays sports. But how many people you know does art? And I was like, I don't really know nobody. She's like, exactly. So you have a wide open lane that you can go. You can go to the path where everyone is, or you can go to this lane. And I was like, okay. And once I got to that lane, no one was in it. Right. So I was like, cool, let's ride this lane. Right. And you kind of touched on something earlier, too, when you just said pushing kids to sports. Mm-hmm. Do y'all feel like now, or not even now, just at certain points that parents are kind of pushing their kids specifically to like sports?
I do, because it's the easy. It's not easy. It's not easy to play professional ball and get there, right?
Right.
But it's the more logical path to say, okay, what's something that I can push my child towards that if he does make it, it's almost like a return on investment. So, and I hate to use that.
Okay, I got you.
But you know what I'm saying? Especially with the draft just happening, you see, these kids getting ready, they get drafted to go. So the first thing people see is, okay, we about to make some money. Yeah. But people don't realize there's a lot of gray area in those contracts, man, where if you don't have the right foundation, when your parents like, hey, you do whatever, we're good, you know what I'm saying, that it can be a world of trouble. So I do feel now they're pushing, towards the professional route. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, and so I look at it two ways.
Yeah.
So for me, it was, all right, my parents did push me to be involved in something bigger than myself. Now, playing sports, you pushing the professional route or are you pushing just how you want to play the sport? Now, I know some sorry kids that I had on my team who mom and daddy had them playing just to pick up the skills of saying, hey, you failed at something.
They probably had all the accessories.
They had all the accessories. I'm talking about the best of the best, but they would get up and strike out.
Right.
But how would you handle that strikeout?
Mm-hmm.
How would you handle that failure? Mm-hmm. Now, when you look at kids that we looking at the draft, let's talk about the draft. So many of them kids probably had natural born talent that somebody had to recognize. Their mom probably didn't even take in on that. It's like, oh, go ahead. Y'all go play. Just go play. Go play something to get out my hair because I'm trying to balance it out. Mm-hmm. I got situations going on.
Right.
And then seeing that, people start to develop the talent that's going to push them to be further. But I think that pushing kids to be in sports is good. Mm-hmm. Now, that's just me. But because it gives them an involvement with the team, learning how to fail, learning how to overcome objectives, overcome obstacles, adversity, and just be able to push through, right? Because perseverance is key, especially when you are coming through life. You're going to push through everything, struggles, whatever.
Right.
It's another side to it. You're going to win eventually.
I said, the thing I like about that too is, and with that, you have to have some substance behind just playing sports. Yeah. See, early on, I didn't really, that wasn't on my mindset. Like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to play ball. I don't, I didn't really focus. Even though I was good at other things, playing ball was what I really wanted to do. But like now, like some of the kids that got drafted, you have one kid they call him Baby Barack. Because he has such a political interest and background that helps the community. The kid is from here. Amazing. From Atlanta. His dad, I believe, is a firefighter or retired, but he does a lot of work in the community. Okay. So, and then you have other people that were like, in the, percussionists, and they have another skill that outside of playing ball, so if this doesn't work, I can transition to something else. Like Myron Rowe. A lot of people shout out to
Myron Rowe.
I'm sorry, yes, Dr. Myron Rowe. You know what I'm saying? He had a career in the NFL, but he also took up a residency at what's the school over in England?
Cambridge?
No, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
But he is a neurosurgeon, and left the NFL.
Wow.
To go pursue that, and he's on the front lines right now.
He's doing
the Corona thing. So to get out that stereotype, like, hey, all the the dumb jock, or you know what I'm saying, like he basically is out here for the people, and he had a good career. You know what I'm saying?
And that's kind of my views on it. I definitely feel like you should push your kids towards things outside of themselves, because sports teaches discipline. It teaches all those things. But I think on a larger scale, sometimes it's disheartening that society teaches, black kids that sports is the only way.
Right.
So I think that's more like okay, we are more than just sports players.
Than a ball.
We more than dribble or throw or shoot. It's much more than we have. Yeah. But I think it puts you at a disadvantage when that's kind of only thing that they're pinning you as, because what ends up happening is they're not paying attention to grades. So you have people that may need more help on schooling, but because they play sports, let me go ahead and push them through.
I'm glad you said that, man. I'm glad you said. I wanted to bring up a good point, man. So, an article, "The Detrimental Effects of Big-Time College Sports on Black Student Athletes," right? So I'm going to just read something right quick. The pressures of big-time college sports, coupled with the NCAA academic legislation, set up a system of inequality among student athletes to achieve academic success, right? In 2008, emphasized the NCAA academic legislation was racist in nature. Okay, several researchers determined that black student athletes are underprepared for college, but are recruited for athletic ability.
Yes.
Black student athletes are often isolated from the rest of the campus, especially with stereotypes others have about their motives, academic ability, or skin color. So what that says is we're going to recruit you guys to come to play for these big time schools, but you're not prepared, because we all was in school, high school, college. Some of those kids, I'm not talking about nobody, but they have the grades, but they didn't earn those grades. It was because there was a bigger picture to get you to that big time college program. You know what I mean? So that, to me, as far as your parents push you to go to school, right? Make sure you get your education, because the big time colleges, they come sit in your living room and say, hey, we want you to attend our university. What's the plan after that? What if you don't pan out? What do you have to fall back on? You know what I mean? So,
man, you just made me think back to something that image that I have in my head, that one of the reasons why I wanted to go to a HBCU to begin with, right? So, one of my really close friends, his uncle was the running back coach at Clemson. And so we used to go to the games growing up, and we would go to where the players would be. So with him being the running back coach, as you know, most running backs in college are African American. Right. And so with that being said, he was there, and he actually, long story short, he would go to the dorms. We would ride with him. The kids that were in college, all of the black kids, would be outside of the campus in a dorm that looked like a project.
Wow.
Now, when you look at that, when you go there, no one else but black. The dorms are hot. The dorms are musty. The dorms are bad. But the school, you going in there is top notch. You looking at the dorms on the campus.
It's crazy you say that, man. One of my favorite sports documentaries all the time, Hoop Dreams. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. Anytime it's on TV, I'll watch it. But when Arthur Agee was, he got a scholarship to a junior college, and he was going on a college visit, right? It's crazy you say that, because when they took him to, when they showed him where the players lived at, so out of the 7, at this time, this is back in late 80s, early 90s. At the time, at this college, they had 7 black. They had 15 black students. Right. Out of the 15, 7 of them were black basketball players. They lived in a house, they converted.
It was all of them was living in a little bando kind of.
It looked like a one-story house.
Crazy.
And you got 7 kids living in the same house, which the house was located I think it was like maybe 7 or 8 miles away from the campus. So here's the thing: we can play ball for these schools or whatever, generate you this money, but we're still treated like certain way. You know what I mean?
Like that anyway.
That's crazy.
Don't say
that's crazy that that is set up like that. But I definitely think we gotta understand the significance and the value of the education piece over anything. And we're not saying, as far as like the sports piece, definitely push towards sports, but also the education piece is just as well, because if you do go to the league and you get signed, you want to be able to interpret your contract. You want to be able to negotiate some things. Mm-hmm. You want to know that you're not just signing your life away and not getting no money.
Brains and a ball.
Right. Yeah. And so with that, when it looks at, you talked about, college, going to students going to college and dorms and everything. How do y'all feel about when it comes to like scholarships? Because a lot of people don't know there's really not a lot of scholarships, for athletes. And so I got some data on that when it comes to just the scholarships and being eligible. First of all, to even be eligible for, to play for NCAA, according to them, for high school, you got to have 16-year core classes. So that's 4 years of English, 3 years of math, 2 years of physical science, additional year of English, math, or science, 2 more years of social science, and then also your last one could be a foreign language or anything like that. Also, for D1, you need a 2.3 GPA, which should not be hard, but again, you'd be surprised. Right. And then, of course, with that, you want to have at least a 900 SAT score or a 75 ACT. Now, so Division 2 is a 2.0 and an 840 on the SAT. And then 70 on the ACT. And I didn't know, how small, as far as scholarships. I just thought that, everybody could get it. But when I did the research for it, according to the documents I have on it, it's showing that for baseball, there's about 9. First school basketball is 10. Cross country, 12. Football has more, it has 36. And these are all for D2. We looking at D1, you get about 85. 56, 12 on the basketball, and then about 11 when it comes to baseball for it. So with that being said, like for a college that has thousands of students and, 50, 60 people when it comes to like football, 20-something, 30-something, it's slim picking. So, do y'all feel like as far as scholarships, there should be more? Or, what are your thoughts just in general just about when it comes to scholarships for athletes?
I think, man, when you look at it, it's about balance. So, when you have baseball, as you said, 12 probably D1. Mm-hmm. It's 9 people on the field. You probably got about 20 players on roster. Mm-hmm. Now, 5 of them may be walk-ons. Give me 15 scholarships. Give me 15 scholarships and I can cover that. Because I know the school is bringing it in.
Yeah.
I know the school is doing that. But one thing that I find amazing that a lot of people don't know about student athletes, a lot of these student athletes are still taking out loans, are still taking out these monies to try to maintain to the rest of the things that go along with college outside of that little bit of school money that you get to play.
Yeah.
So as, when you think about baseball, right, and I can speak firsthand, you get partials. You don't get a full ride. So that other money has to come from somewhere. So my conversation was, where can I go that my parents don't have to do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
I don't have to do X, Y, and Z. Right. How can it balance out? A lot of people don't think like that. So you go into these schools, you get this partial, and you have to take hundreds of thousands
to get out.
Whatever
to
get out. And it's tough, man. It's tough. But the schools are making hundreds of thousands off of just your name alone.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I've seen too, that most of the D2 schools, they give you partials for everything. Mm-hmm. Some people were getting as low as 10%. Mm-hmm. So 10% off of something that's what, 14,000, 15,000? A book. That's just nothing. So I didn't realize that when it comes to that there were so few. And of course D1 has more, but that they're giving you portions, and you like a regular student.
At the end of the day, man, it's about the money. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So as far as like the numbers of scholarships that are given out, at the end of the day, right, as a college coach or recruiter, my job is to get the best talent to come here and get me to the next bowl game, next championship. Because the bowl game brings sponsorships. Championships brings money to line the coaching staff's pocket, the school's pocket. So if I have 9 scholarships, my way of thinking is, okay, who's the best 9 players that's going to get me to that goal faster? Because 9 times out of 10, they're going to be out here after that, especially dealing with, college basketball, the whole one and done kind of rule thing that they got going on. So you recruit people coming like a Zion, you know what I'm saying? Comes to Duke for 1 year, then you're gone. You know what I'm saying? It happens every year. So now you're looking for the next best person to get me further. So it's never really about the education. In some cases now, some coaches do have that mentality, hey, I want to bring you to be the best person that you can be. Now, if you do something professionally, cool. But I want you to get your education. But that's not the message. These kids, are like, I want to go to the best college program. It's going to give me the best chance to get to wherever I need to go.
League,
And if you don't make it, now what?
Right, because, you think about it, like you said, Zion. Like I've been looking at Zion for maybe 4 or 5 years, just watching him progress to where he is now. I think about a school, that blue school, that got a little devil. I ain't mentioning because I'm a Carolina.
Shout out to Blue. You already know Duke all day. All day.
We ain't going to talk about that little school over there.
All day.
But that school there, like they go there, he goes there, and just think about ticket sales here, man.
Yeah,
they got jerseys with that.
Barack Obama in the building.
Right, but he gets none of that. Like he can't get anything with
that we know of.
Right. So they take all of that and take that off the top. And then you even said for him going to school, we know that Zion wasn't going to be in there for 4 years. You know he was gone, but I think about somebody that, like you said, those people that's not the greatest athlete, but you enough where you can be in there. Money. So if you giving the funding to the people that are top and they gone in 1 year, that's funding that they could have used for somebody else.
Right. Absolutely.
So I definitely think they need to reevaluate that in the sense of have some type of thing, or even go back as far as with the NBA being able to go from high school to make that jump.
Yeah.
Because it's crazy because a lot of people don't even know that, people like Tracy McGrady, Sean Kemp, Dwight Howard, Kevin Garnett, Kobe, and LeBron all straight went from high school.
Moses Malone, Sebastian Telfair,
all straight from high school to
Brandon Jennings.
And some people really need that, that boost to be able to go because some people are in situations where like they need the money, so they got to go to the league. So you go to college, and now you got all these rules. You seeing people wearing a jersey, you got yours. They seeing your pictures everywhere. You on billboards, you on posters, but you can't get none of that money.
Yeah, but this is the power of HBCUs. Think about this now. If we had a talent like Zion to go to a South Carolina State. What?
Yes.
Do you know how many people? Because South Carolina State plays who? HBCUs, right? So everybody's going to get that exposure. Everybody's going to be able to say, I played against Zion. Right. Yeah, my school plays against some of the top talent. Now think about the top talent from Georgia goes to, wherever. If Ant-Man would have went to Savannah State, he's playing at UGA right now. If he went to Savannah State, what would that do for the school? Yeah. You think about that. We had a Shannon Sharp.
You sure did.
Top guy come out.
You sure did.
Uncle Shay Shay. Shout out to him. Every time he gets a chance, he shots out Savannah State.
All day.
And so people hear of that school. Oh, that's a school Shannon Sharp went to. You don't know nothing else about Savannah State.
But
he went. You don't know that that's the school that has the only marine biology program in the state of Georgia. None of that. But you know that is Shannon Sharp school.
Right.
So you have to figure out, like, okay, if we can push. I know we don't want to push nobody to do anything, but if we highlight the benefits of saying, hey,
HBCU.
You want to go to this HBCU, granted, it's a small market, but we can always grow.
But it goes back to what I talked about. We all talked about a couple episodes. It's about understanding the power that we have.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So here's the thing: when you look at the numbers, right? So you look at the numbers as far as what makes up the league and stuff like that, right? So during the 2005-2006 season NCAA, right, black males comprise of 46.9% in NCAA football, and NCAA basketball 58.9%. This is black. This is the black. This is us that makes up these schools, right? Yeah. Think about the top talent going to your HBCUs, right? That's so much like where those schools wouldn't have to ask for funding. You know what I'm saying? Because you have the talent there, right? That comes with TV deals, whatever. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's cool to go. There's nothing wrong with going D1. You know what I'm saying? But if you have the opportunity, and we have to, as a people, we have to come up with a way to provide to get that light on those schools. So like your Shannon Sharps, and things of that nature that shut out. Because there's a lot of people like T.O. went to well, I don't think Chattanooga. I don't know that's the but I'm just just from a small market standpoint. But for some of these athletes that started out in the HBCUs and stuff like that, just to bring that light to them, it can change the landscape.
Strahan went to a HBCU.
Change the landscape.
He changed the landscape. You know what I mean? It's some older players as well. Walter Payton, Jerry Rice,
Nate Newton.
You think about
Dallas Cowboys, went to Florida A&M, went to school with my uncle, man. So
it can be done. But like you said, right? People have to also understand there are HBCUs that are D1.
Yeah.
So if your goal is to go D1, you can go to D1.
You go to D.
But you're gonna bring, like you said, the funding, the Nike deals, the whatever, because these people want to be a part of us, and we are great as a people alone, before a ball, before whatever. We are great.
And so I want to highlight this story, man. And it was, for me, not being someone who was well versed when it comes to this college basketball and everything. This was something to me. I was kind of like, wow. So I'll tell you a story about a collegiate athlete, basketball player by the name of James Wiseman, center for the University of Memphis Tigers. So shout out to Memphis. Okay. He's projected now to be the top 5 pick in the upcoming NBA draft. He was suspended for 12 games in November of last year by the NCAA.
I remember that.
When it was discovered that Wiseman's mother, unbeknown to Wiseman, so he had no knowledge of this, received money from his then high school coach, Anthony Penny Hardaway, for all the people that really know. If you don't know, go check out Orlando Magic's in the 90s, Penny Hardaway.
He was that guy.
Right. He was his former coach. He pretty much helped his mother with moving expenses related to them moving to Memphis. And so they deemed Hardaway, he was a booster for University of Memphis because he donated $1 million to the school for them to be able to have, I think it was a gym or facility for like the alumni for. So he was considered, So he was considered a booster. Now, booster, not in the sense like he was boosting tickets for those people that may not be real. Because when I heard booster, I was like, no. So a booster is, they play a role in providing student athletes with a positive experience through their enthusiastic efforts. They can support the teams and athletic departments through donations of time, financial resources, which help athletes succeed on and off the field. So by Penny Hardaway being someone who donated to the school, they seen him as pretty much trying to influence them. Now, this was years before he even went to school that this actually happened. So he got suspended for 12 games for that. And he decided, he did an appeal, and his appeal was denied. So they upheld his 12-game suspension, and he informed University of Memphis, like, I'm good. I'm going to go to the league. So, I mean, how do you feel when it comes to that? Because that goes back to what you were talking about earlier, though.
I feel like all college athletes should be paid. Scholarship is not enough. Okay? I feel like, these clubs, these schools make millions upon millions of dollars within revenue. Kids need to be compensated. It just hands down. Now, I'm not saying like, we're going to pay you $50, $60, but make sure that, hey, if I'm going to your program, like, hey, my family has to move, whatever. And this is for all, good or bad.
Right.
If you are an athlete or just student on scholarship,
you own a team,
you should be taken care of because you guys take care of the you guys should be taking care of, the students anyway. But as far as him making that decision, okay, I think it's a great one. It shows that, hey, you know what? You guys kind of
bet on himself.
Yeah, you gonna bet on myself, and I'm gonna get to the league anyway. You know what I'm saying? But there's other avenues where you can, if that's your goal, to get to the league. So I applaud the young man for taking a stand.
No, definitely.
As far as what, I'm good. Thank you for the opportunity, but I'm gonna go elsewhere. But the NCAA should be ashamed of themselves, man.
I definitely think they should be paid. And I feel like from a perspective of, we talk about those athletes that go because they have to go. They take that 1 year and I'm out.
Right.
But if I was in a position where, they go on the college tour, visit the campus, they try to wine and dine you, what they gonna do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like it should be like a job interview, and you be compensated some way, because think about that. If you are someone you're not gonna make it to the league. But if you're there for those 4 years, that's going to increase your success rate of graduation. Because think about all the people that do 1 year and they out, or 2 years and they go to the league and they never go back to finish. So it's like you went to college, but you never got the chance to finish.
Yeah.
You know, and then most times they end up going later after their career or somewhere. Like, so I feel like that also could help with graduation rate. Because you know I'm gonna be paid for these 4 years. I may not be able to get the cheese. I may about to get the $1 million contract. But you know I could get this little 40, 30, whatever you know it is. That can definitely be something to kind of like, all right, well I'm gonna still play, and that also holds you to it because that's a job to you now.
Man, and you know, Weeks, you just said a big time. It's a job, right?
Yeah.
So you going in, you getting up every morning at 6, doing your workout.
Doing them 2
If you're not late, if you late to those, you getting penalized, right? That sounds like what? A job. You have to go meet these standards. You have to go do what you're supposed to do. Put in the work to be able to.
Facts.
That is a job.
Right.
Yeah. Now, when you look at, you use a word that I have heard, and it really brings some things to light. You said appeal.
Yeah.
We use that in another, talk about another institution.
The judicial system.
We do.
And
So
how does that work out for us?
It doesn't work out for us either there,
not.
right? So you have to connect the dots, right? These are governing bodies over us where we could say, okay, this man tried to better himself, or this person, this other black man, looked at this other black person struggle and said, hey, I want to help you.
Mm-hmm.
And by helping you, you are being penalized, and I'm being penalized as well, because isn't he not a coach at
he's a head coach.
Right. So now it's like, okay, so everybody's being penalized.
Yeah.
It's coming upon scrutiny behind everything. Just because I wanted to help someone that looked like me be a leader in my community.
And it was years before.
And it was way before, right?
And he didn't even know about it. It was his mom, and they were like, oh, yeah, by the way, you gave...
That sucks.
Yeah.
But you have to look at it. It's all connected. Judicial system, NCAA, whatever. It's a governing body over a big group of people. They planned this and been planning this for a little while.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
And it goes back to something you said that also too that I want to touch on as far as the graduation rate. Okay, so there was a study done by Mr. Sean Harper, professor at USC a few years ago, right? So Harper examined graduation rates and representation rate of inequities within the so-called Power 5 conferences, right? That's the Atlantic Coast, Big 10, Big 12, Pac-12, and Southeastern Conference, okay?
Mm-hmm.
These conferences, spanning 65 universities in total, represent the most dominant and competitive sports in NCAA Division I. Of course, your SECs. Okay, Harper said that most likely they demonstrate problematic trends relating to African American male student athletes. Okay, black men made up 2.4% of the undergraduate population of these Power 5 schools, but comprised of 55% of their football teams and 56% of their men's basketball teams. Okay. The report shows that just over 55% of black male student athletes graduated within 6 years, compared within 60% of all black undergraduate men, at 69.3% of all student athletes, and 76.3% of all undergraduate students. So, what does that tell you? You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as you look at the numbers, look at the percentage, man. Like, what are we really doing at these big time schools? Like, you're giving out the scholarships or whatever, but you're not completing the process where at the end of the day, what does it say first? Student athlete. So if you get into students, particularly, of course, African Americans, getting to come to these programs, your end goal should be, how can I make sure that this kid graduates? Or if they don't graduate, build some sort of incentive that, hey, if you don't go to the league, you always have a home here, you can come. Or if
tuition free.
Or if you choose not to go or come back, we should be able to set up something for where if you have a child, your first child, or some can come back to the university to come back and complete what you did not complete. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like
some
that.
Legacy stuff, man. But that goes back to, if you go to HBCU, or you will see more people that look like you. You're not in a bigger class. Because keep in mind, those student athletes going into a class full of 100-some people.
Right, absolutely.
You going into a class of 30 college students, you like, it's like high school.
Right. Or everybody name up here.
Right. But you have to look at that. That gives the professors and people at the HBCUs the opportunity to be able to, hey, let me hold you. Mm-hmm. Hey, see me after class, sir. I would like to see you do this over.
Yeah.
But when you were in 105 students, you were in seat 104. Ain't nobody gonna remember you.
Trying to get to the next class.
Trying to forget that. But we could, that's a conversation for another day. But I just think that, like you said, if we were to look at those analytics, we will assess that there's a divide there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what that divide is, we can assume,
Right.
and we can also kind of take some context.
Yeah.
Right.
But there is a divide.
So definitely something that need to be reevaluated to look at it. But I mean, so what are kind of like your final thoughts when it comes to this? Like, you want to leave the people, because we are the people's podcast.
Yes, sir.
So what you got?
Man, I think it goes back to what we talked about earlier. There's power within us.
Mm-hmm.
We can push the needle in any way that we want, whether it is the best athletes, the best scholars. We don't have to always got to pick up a ball. We could be the best scholars as well.
Absolutely.
And make it look cool, right? Put a little swag on it. And so, when you look at it, we are the best and can be the best. We just have to tap into ourselves.
Yes.
And push ourselves to a higher standard.
Yeah, definitely great. And along with that, I would say you got to understand the value you have.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding the importance of supporting the people that look like you, but letting these kids know, these younger ones know how great they are. Because a lot of times, if you only think that you can play basketball, football, baseball, you don't think outside of that. You just think for that. And if something happens to you, you can't think anywhere beyond it. So empowering yourself to know that you are more than just a sports figure, that there's so much more to you. There's so many different levels. And also keeping family first, staying grounded and rooted is very key. A lot of times people go to the league and everything changes.
Yeah.
They shun the family, they don't rock with them, but your family is going to be the one to keep you grounded.
You turn on you.
Your mom is like, you still got to make sure this is straight. I understand you the top man, but here you still my son.
Still my son.
They keep you humble. And I think more than anything is whatever decision you make, whether it be college or going to the league, stick to what you believe. If you feel this is the best decision, you don't ever live your life based on, well, this coach say I need to do this and I want to do this because I want to make this person happy, because you never want to be in a position where you 40 years old, 50 years old looking back like, dang, I wonder if I would have. At least you be like, well, shoot, I tried it.
Exactly.
I feel like that's much more of an impact. And sometimes now with a lot of us get it, we have ideas and visions of what we want to do, but we get in our own way because we're so afraid to let this person down. I know Irv expected me to do this. I know Stokes, he said, do this, but what about what you want?
Yeah.
So understanding what can you live with at night? What can you lay your head on and say, you know what? I made this decision. I'm cool with it. I'm straight. That's definitely something that's going to make you feel like, all right, I done what I'm supposed to do. What about you, man?
For me, I have like a 3-part kind of response. Not long.
Break it down.
I want to speak to the young people out there, male and female. I would say this. If you I present a challenge. If you have aspirations of playing a professional sport, look up your top 10, top 15 black millionaires that are, around. Look at their route. What are they doing? Are they all athletes, or do they business owners? I say that to say that, hey, you don't necessarily have to want to go to college to just play sports. You know what I'm saying? You can definitely take other avenues, be an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? Be that engineer. You know what I'm saying? We live here in Atlanta where Georgia Tech has, I know it's not an HBCU, but they have one of the best engineering programs in the country. So it's nothing wrong with aspiring to be something else other than the athlete. Right. You know what I'm saying? Too, your parents, hey, listen, if you have a student or a child that's gifted in the sport, try to hone in on something else that the child is, they like doing, because at the end of the day, to get into the league, the success rate, it's not high. You know what I'm saying? There's only a couple of LeBron James out there. You know what I'm saying? We all know those cats. Like, man, it was cool, but they can really hoop. But where they at now? They working. You know what I'm saying? So hone in on that. That way, your child always know that, hey, if I don't make it, my parents are still gonna be, be good with that. And then also too, just take your time, man. Take your time. When you're out there making those decisions.
Yes, don't rush that.
And listen to your elders. You know what I'm saying? Listen to people that have done it before you to make sure that, hey,
you gotta say that again, though.
Yeah, listen to your elders.
Take your
time.
Facts.
You have to have an open mind, but people that genuinely want to see you do good, they're always going to give you that information that you need to be successful. So that's the message I want to leave with the people, particularly the young people that listen to.
Shout out to the higher level of And now the time has come for my absolute favorite part of the show. Tell us why you mad.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you why I'm mad. I'm gonna tell you why.
Today's Telling You Why You Mad is brought to you by one J. Earth. Tell us why you mad.
Mr. I Need Yoga Classes himself.
B2B_podcast. Hit us up. We are available. My man is ready. So what you got today?
So, I think we kind of touched on it earlier. I don't know if it was during the show, but before the show, but the whole reopening up the states and stuff like that, man. Like, it's so annoying to see how anxious people are trying to get back to, I want to get a haircut, I want to do this, I want to do that. You're not realizing that you're putting people's lives at risk. Like, I saw the governor of Texas says there are more important things than living.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Come on now,
listen to
dog.
that, people.
Come on, man.
Things than to getting back than living. I don't understand that. And then for my mans to, I know this is funny, but it's really not funny because you literally have people calling and asking these questions. Where if you
the bleach joint?
If you inject rays of sun into your body,
Man, stupid.
or get some disinfectant into your system. Okay, listen, let me tell you something.
And it can wash it off.
You go take you a shot of bleach if you want to. COVID is the last thing you have to be worried about. So it's just mind-boggling, man.
But as we always say here, do your research.
Yeah, please,
before you do anything, do your research, and more importantly, use common sense.
Yes, use common sense.
I don't think common sense is, it's so undervalued right now.
No,
just think about that on the normal scale. I do this under normal circumstance. No, you probably don't want to.
But tell him to do it. He ain't gonna do it.
No, not at all, man. And then, you have your people on the front lines, your essential workers, and essential workers not necessarily just your doctors. I mean, it's, your people, your hangout spot that people still going to, Walmart. Everybody in that store is an essential worker because they have to put their life on the line and make sure you can go get
them fast food joints too.
Everybody that's there open right now.
QTs out there.
They are essential people, man. So just be mindful of that and just stay home, man. Like I know I sound like I'm preaching. Just like if you wanted to be over with, stay home. You have nurses and people people getting on social media. I saw one nurse, and I can't remember her name, but she literally had a curse-filled rant because she's like, hey, the same people that you are rushing to get out of here, when they get sick, they come to the hospital. She's like, I haven't hugged my son in almost 2 months because I don't want to risk bringing my child something. So you have to think about that, man. Like, it's not about going to get the haircut or rushing to the beaches. Stay home.
Yeah.
Protect others right now. You know what I mean? So that's my biggest tell them why you mad.
You tight over here.
I am because I see it, man. Like, I got a situation I won't disclose the name in because you know what I do for a living, but these people are dying at a rapid rate. I mean, like daily. Yeah. And it's because people are not staying home, because you don't know who has what. You know what I'm saying? I just saw something here where the young lady, she was 36 years old. She had no issues. Right. And she passed away, leaving behind 2 twin boys. Oh you know what I'm saying? So it's very real. It's not just the common flu, people. I'm tired of hearing that too. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you believe in, whether you believe it's 5G or if it's a government
conspiracy theories,
stay home. You know what I'm saying? Stay home.
That's the message.
That's it.
Message.
Stay home.
Message.
Stay home.
So that's it. So make sure y'all stay home, protect yourself, protect your loved ones. Yes. Take this time to really evaluate yourself. Think about what you want to do in life. Mm-hmm. Some of the things you said you was going to do a long time ago is like, if I only had the time.
You got it now.
Well, guess what? I got time, cuz.
Create
today is now the time for
If you don't come out of this with a skill or a trait or a business, like you no longer can use the time as an excuse, you're lazy.
Yeah, that discipline, man. So make sure y'all do all those things. Make sure y'all hit us up online. B2B_podcast. We gonna catch y'all next week. Black Space. We out here. Sucker free.